proposal for what we're going to try to do in the next 9 to 10 weeks. It's pretty ambitious, but this has actually been scaled back pretty far. So there's a lot more forms to make, but with our time constraint, we were only going to make just a few of these items that I'm going to showcase here in this video. So really quickly, these are forms that I think can be made pretty quickly. These are basically sonic tubes, and also on each side these are also inputs for basically a nozzle to let in scent. And so basically, I don't know why I have two of them on there, but probably just basically one of them will have a tube coming from the center of this design, and then slowly some sort of floral scent based on all the stuff that I'm growing this summer, hopefully enough to kind of ooze out of here, create some sort of pressure or some volume coming out of here. Also, the idea is while we're 3D printing, we can stop, hopefully Jesse will be able to stop halfway during the process, and then lay in a speaker. Oh, that's what it is. This nozzle is for the speaker cords to go out. So very simple, maybe 4-inch speaker will lay at this point, stop the printing, lay in the speaker, and then continue on printing, and basically entomb the speaker inside of this sonic tube. So you'll have sound coming out, hopefully out of maybe 10 or 12 of these forms. Probably for the New Zealand, probably only have 4 or 5 if we're lucky. So again, in the center will be just kind of a pressure building up, and then a scent coming out, and also sound emanating from each of these sonic tubes. So the idea is using a Faro scanner or a scanner, be able to scan all these where these sit in this physical space. So these are really going to be made, these will be CNC'd. Somehow these will be on a stand. Haven't configured that yet, but you can imagine how that would look, having kind of a multi-stand for to hold these in a stable way. Into the center. I just didn't have enough time to model that, but that would be CNC'd and kind of configured, kind of like a sawhorse or something like that. As you can imagine, some sort of sawhorse or some sort of design framing system down to the floor for multiples, or maybe 2 at a time to hold these up. So the idea is that once you scan these, put a tracker on the ground, and then this would be able to be seen virtually too. So when you grab out, these things are 1-to-1 ratio, and then these are textured, and then some of this will have some play in it. This will be rubberized film here, but cool stuff can happen within this. So this is where I'm thinking some cool particle systems could be coming out of this tube, out of all these tubes. As you walk closer to it, maybe the particles accelerate or decelerate, or maybe bend around you. So these are kind of some fun things to think about, like how each of these are kind of pointing in a different direction. Again, there's going to be a volume of air coming out of here, so you can physically feel that, and also you'll be able to smell that. So it would be really cool to kind of accentuate that with the Unreal Engine 5 and seeing where these particles could lead up to. So that's kind of the fun thing that I'm thinking about, and we're going to throw in some people here and to kind of give you a sense of scale. So these tubes are not super huge. They'll probably be no bigger than 24 inches. It looks like here they're almost 12 to 15 inches. So these will be a little bit bigger than that. So anyways, these will be stable. But again, the participant, either of these characters, and then the other person will be the puppeteer. But there will be forms in here the puppeteer will be working with. And we'll probably only have 2, maybe 3 of these forms, because we do have to ship these down to New Zealand. So right now this is being printed as we speak. This is going to be exactly 26 inches. And this will be with bare paint where you touch this either here, the center, or the tabs, or the ring out here. There'll be basically 4 zones which you can touch, and this will create particle systems or color change or something different, a little bit different than we did last time. Last time it was really simple, just shade, transparency, particles, and so forth. So hopefully we can push this a little bit further and also push a little bit more on the design. So the idea is with the puppeteer, we'll be able to put the down onto this form, so when the participant touches, they can actually touch it a little bit longer. Last time we had it where it was kind of floating. This one I want to kind of float, but then have a landing so that you know this is sitting on a form. So again, try to give the notion that there's not a puppeteer holding it. And I'm thinking maybe a landing could be that solution. Again, this is the second year, probably will be a disaster, but the idea that there's a landing and using this as a landing pad on top of this sonic tube. That's the idea for this. So again, there'll be 2 or 3, hopefully for September for the New Zealand kind of showcase of this. So the other idea for this is just to make a really quick scene out of this for our 10-week. We already have this stuff modeled. It's just now just a matter of getting some cool textures on this. This floor will be kind of ramping down, but at the apex of it will be these kind of, I'm calling them lily pads. This was supposed to be on the first. Maya crashed last night and didn't want to open up the latest file, so I think it got corrupted. This is quite a heavy scene. I'm not sure why. But anyways, I wanted to show you some of these other ideas. Again, we're talking about these forms. So probably a second and maybe a third form that will be shipping to New Zealand, plus just these forms. These will be CNC to New Zealand, but these will be shipped down. So the idea is also that these kind of these pods would be kind of going around the periphery. And so it's the idea that particles are coming out of here, and also particles or these kind of pods are kind of going around in circles. And kind of the idea I really want to mimic is these basically barracudas swimming and having these pods kind of circle and go around you. They could go in opposite directions, or they could all go in one cluster. But this idea that these kind of pods are kind of bouncing up and down, and kind of drifting in and out. And I'm really not sure if there's a procedural way to do that in Unreal Game Engine. Also to instance these so that it's not as taxing. But again, have basically a wall here, so you don't have to really see anything beyond that. I don't want to have anything modeled out here or even above, but basically just enclosure of these pods going around you, and also these guys having some sort of particle system as you go by, obviously with the smell, the scent projecting out. So this is kind of my mini-me version show. The larger version of this would be maybe a little bit more larger scale with these forms, and also 8 of these forms. For right now, we're just going to probably be able to pull off 2 or 3 of these forms. Also, in the large scale version, there will be actually 3D or CNC versions of these on the floor that you would walk on and have some sort of interaction. These will just be static, maybe a little bit of animation with this, but have nothing to do with animation or interactivity yet. All right, let me know what you think. I will send this movie file and also the Maya file for this so you can take a look at it.